And I understand you've got a long history with the SeaWorld Penguins. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, I mean, I started the project in 1972, and initially at the request of the National Science Foundation, they were very anxious to start a colony in the States of high Antarctic penguins for long-term research purposes, year-round and so forth. Very expensive to fund science in the Antarctic, really expensive. So they were trying to get some projects done and maybe not have to go through all of that. But in those days, penguins were really delicate, especially cold weather penguins like the Delhies and Emperors. Those were the two that they were mainly interested in. They brought them up before, dropped them in various zoos, and it didn't work. So they called me up and said, "Can we do this?" And my response was, "I have no idea. But if you want me to go down, send me down, I'll take a look," which I did. And what they wanted to do was not very practical. And when I came back, I wrote out a program for us. Said, if you're really serious, this is what you have to do. And it's very foreign from anything they've already done before. I mean, I wasn't talking like 4 or 5 pairs of penguins. I thought 50 pairs of a Delhi penguin, 75 emperors, big numbers, and so forth. They're social animals. If you want real science, if your science results to be meaningful, you have to have a real colony. So I wrote it up and submitted it, thinking that was the end of it. Well, that's normally what happens with a government program. And lo and behold, about 3 months later, they called back and said, "Frank, we read over everything and you're right. This is what we got to do." There was a pause, they didn't say anything, and they said, "The next thing is what changed everything, and we want you to do it." And that's how the whole thing actually got started. So for years and years and years, myself and my team, we worked behind the scenes at SeaWorld, and SeaWorld management didn't have a clue. I mean, we never said anything, and just kept going off the Antarctic and doing the research. And then one day I had to go to the front office and say, "I'm not sure how you guys are going to handle this, but I'm coming back in 3 months with 300 penguins from the Antarctic, and I need to build a prefab freezer back behind the scenes." And so that was first really that they knew what was going on. So that's what started it all. And we managed to do very quickly all the science projects that the National Science Foundation wanted to do. And my major commitment was to get the breeding going. We were breeding Delhies the first year, and within 2 years breeding emperor penguins, which everybody said would be impossible. And of course, by that time now, with so much press with all these baby penguins, especially the emperors, front office all of a sudden began to say, maybe those nuts behind the scene back there have something after all. Because I had been working on a design for, I would call the ultimate facility for penguins, and this is kind of a part of it. And we went ahead and built it, and it was the most exciting animal exhibit ever built. Some people say it still is, basically. In the meantime, because we were breeding so many birds there, I was able to get the data on incubation temperatures. We didn't know that before, so now we could hatch stuff in incubators and so forth. So I didn't move any more live penguins. After that, everything was done by eggs. All of these here are from eggs, every one of them. I mean, none of these birds ever came out of the wild and so forth. And it's gone on its own now for a program essentially 40 years. I don't think there's any zoo animal program that's ever gone on continuously for that length of time. So SeaWorld is certainly leading the pack there. And at least in San Diego, we have a number of 30-year-old penguins and a couple that are probably over 40. So they'll live a lot longer here than they ever will in the wild. And we hopefully can touch up to 4 million people a year on what penguins are all about with facilities like this. And to me, that makes it really all worthwhile. I mean, I take 1,600 people a year to the Antarctic, whatever, various ships and so forth that I'm on. But that's such a tiny, tiny fraction of what, what's on the planet human-wise. So what we're doing here, we try to create a window to the Antarctic and take people and say, not only are you going to be part of this, you're going to be in it. So once you get off that ride, I mean, you're in a totally different world. Not alien, totally different. And hopefully, everybody's perspective and their lives are going to be a little bit richer when they leave. And if we do that, then this facility has been successful. And penguins have the power to do it. They do.
Oh, they really do. Excellent. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Okay.